And they're off. More than 28,000 people laced up for the 2025 RBC Brooklyn Half Marathon this morning. Runners went on a 13.1-mile tour from Prospect Park to the Coney Island Boardwalk at around mile 12. The marathoners also had to compete with cuteness and cheer on the next generation of runners, as about 1,000 kids took part in free dashes and races as part of the Boardwalk Kids Run. Audrey Fuentes got a final look at the forecast.
Super cute, super cute. All right, tonight, folks, it's going to be pretty cool across parts of the area, especially in the Hudson Valley, where we're dropping down into the low 50s, even mid-40s in Monticello. We'll be at 56 here in the city with clearing skies. Tomorrow, we'll see plenty of sunshine once again. Another day just like today. It will be windy, but we'll have temperatures that will be in the 70s across the region. We'll do it again for Tuesday. Less wind. It'll be a little breezy, but not as blustery. And then we have cooler weather as well as wetter weather as we go into the middle part of the upcoming week. Arthur?
Thanks so much, Audrey. And that's all we've got for the news side of things tonight. You're all caught up for the week ahead. If you've missed any part of the 10 o'clock news, you can always catch an encore on a free streaming app, Fox Local. Just scan this QR code that's on your screen right now to download the free Fox Local app on your phone, where you can then stream our newscasts anytime from anywhere. And stay with us. Sports Extra with Tina Servacio starts right now.
Coming up on Sports Extra, things were all even between the Yankees and Mets heading into Sunday's rubber game. Even Aaron Judge and Juan Soto were hugging before the game. But straight ahead, we will bring you the final results of the first chapter of the 2025 Subway Series. In 3 more days, the 25-year wait will be over when the Knicks tip off the Eastern Conference Finals for Game 1 at the Garden against the Indiana Pacers. Tonight, we'll be joined by one of the great newspaper writers who covered that last Knicks team to play in the conference finals. Mark Berman, formerly of the New York Post. We'll discuss how he thought he would cover plenty of Pacers-Knicks playoff series until he didn't. What makes this year's team different? You know what makes the New York Liberty different? They did win their championship last season, and yesterday the 2024 WNBA champs received their rings and lifted their first ever franchise championship banner inside Barclays Center. Our Jennifer Williams was there, and she'll have a report. Tonight we will also be joined by sports broadcast icon with a famous New York sports TV last name. Steve Albert will be joining us. He just released an entertaining memoir called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Broadcast Booth. Steve will share his stories from doing play-by-play of dinner with his brothers Marv and Al to a little Knicks tidbit you won't want to miss. It's been a big sports weekend in the Big Apple, so let's get Sports Extra started right now.
It's time for Sports Extra, presented by your local Toyota dealers.
Good evening. Hope you're having a great weekend, and we are so glad you are spending your Sunday night here with us. This is Sports Extra, presented by your local Toyota dealers. I'm Tina Servacio. This weekend in the Big Apple, sports did not disappoint, and the best part of having a Subway Series, New York wins every time. But which borough gets to walk away with bragging rights, and would families be torn apart with their different allegiances? Well, it all came down to tonight's rubber game between the Yankees and Mets at Yankee Stadium, after the two teams split Friday and Saturday's games. Prior to the game, unlike Friday night, Aaron Judge gave a little hug to Juan Soto in the outfield, putting to rest the thought there was something off between the two former teammates. During the game, the Yankees took advantage of some sloppy Mets play in the first inning. Cody Bellinger doubles to right, scoring a pair of runs to make it 2-0 Yankees. The Mets tied the game in the 5th when Jeff McNeil scored on a Max Fried wild pitch. He also drove in the Mets' first run, so the game was tied at 2. In the 8th inning, though, Yankees had runners on second and third, 1 out. Horvat Vivas hits a grounder to first. Pete Alonso tries to get the runner at third, but it sails over Francisco Alvarez's head. The Yanks lead 3-2 later in the inning. After Aaron Judge strikes out Cody Bellinger with the bases loaded, puts the game away with a grand slam. Bellinger drives in 6 runs on the night. That put the Yankees up 8-2, and that was your final score as the Yankees beat the Mets and win this series. The final Sunday night, 8-2. Coming up on Sports Extra, what has made the difference for this year's Knicks compared to the last 25 seasons? We'll look back on the rebuilds and look ahead to the rematch with former New York Post beat writer Mark Berman. That's next.
For the first time in 2.5 decades, the New York Knicks are going to a conference final. And they do it.
After a 25-year drought, the Knicks are headed back to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they will meet a familiar foe in the Indiana Pacers. A flashback to the battles of the 1990s playoffs. This week will mark the fourth time the Knicks and Pacers are facing each other in the conference finals. The last time was the year 2000. And one of the Knicks' great newspaper writers who covered that team and that series was former Knicks beat writer for the New York Post, Mark Berman. After the Knicks advanced on Friday night, Berman wrote this on X. My first year on the Knicks beat in 1999 to 2000, covered Pacers-Knicks in East Conference Finals. Figured I'd cover a bunch of them. Knicks never made it there again until tonight. Bring on the Pacers. Congrats to Leon Rose for getting them back. And Mark Berman joins us now from Florida. Mark, welcome to Sports Extra. How are you?
I'm doing great, Tina, and really enjoying this Knicks run.
Mark, you covered every game, every coach firing, every new hire, every rebuild, the drafts after the Knicks were last in the Eastern Conference Finals. What did Leon Rose do that worked this time?
Listen, you have to tip your hat off to Leon. He was an agent. In fact, my first year on the beat, his client was Rick Brunson in the Knicks locker room in 1999, 2000. In fact, Rick once got on me because I had contacted Leon about a contract dispute between Rick and the Knicks. But, you know, Leon really put the pieces together slowly. He didn't rush. After last season, adding Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns to a very strong core and trading away the ever-popular Dante and Julius Randle, and it's worked magically.
They very well could have ended this drought last year if they were healthy. So it does show that these two Tom Thibodeau teams, proven they're no fluke, and it separated them from years past.
And they have the best closer maybe in Knicks history, maybe better than Patrick Ewing. I don't know about Walt Frazier, but it's amazing that Jalen is so clutch in the fourth quarter in the final couple of minutes, and Cat has really shown that he can take the New York City pressure in the playoffs. That's what I was worried about, but he has exceeded expectations in my eyes.
Just the nostalgia of it, Mark. What do you make that it's a rematch of 2000, Knicks, Pacers, and Reggie Miller is calling the game on TNT? What do you think?
Yeah, that's very ironic. I think he scored 34 points in that Game 6 elimination in 2000. I go back to 2000 trying to remember that series, Knicks losing in 6 games. It really was the end of the Patrick Ewing era. I remember he got heckled as he left the court. I wrote in my book that one of the workers had said to Patrick, "You're still the man," and Patrick responded to him, "No, I'm not." And soon after, he demanded a trade. And it was once they traded Patrick, the dog days, the dark days, the days that you experienced at MSG Network came upon the Knicks. The following year, they were knocked out in the first round by Toronto, and soon after, Jeff Van Gundy left the scene.
You mentioned the dog days. So you and I worked alongside each other from 2008 to 2015. I mean, there was a couple of 17-win seasons there. I mentioned the big three. I mean, the Knicks had Carmelo Anthony, Amari Stoudemire, Tyson Chandler, but they weren't able to get past or to the conference finals. They had the Heat, the Celtics, the Pacers in their way during that time. What storyline during that time, during those years, stood out the most to you that now the Knicks fans could get past?
Yeah. Well, it was a coaching carousel, you know, with Larry Brown, Isaiah Thomas, D'Antoni, Hornacek. Phil Jackson came in as president and, you know, hired Kurt Rambis to run the show for a year. So it was here. Tom Thibodeau knows that Leon Rose has his back. He's been there since 2021. He's done an amazing job, and he has support from the front office. The Knicks head coaching situation was always a roller coaster. And, you know, Carmelo just wasn't as great as advertised when he came to the Knicks. He had that great year in 2012-13, and then Roy Hibbert. In fact, it was 12 years ago today when Roy Hibbert blocked his shot in that pivotal Game 6 in Indiana in the second round, and the Knicks got bounced. That was the year I thought they were going to the finals. It did not happen.
Yeah, I was at that game. Could not sleep that night after that game. But Mark,
yeah.
Mark, why do you think the Knicks fans stayed so loyal, though, all these years?
It's definitely like the Boston Red Sox when they had their championship drought. You know, the Knicks fans, most of them who are alive have never experienced a championship. I mean, there's some older Knicks fans that have been around since 1973, and I can't tell you, walking the Garden hallways and you meet an elderly fan during the bad times and saying, oh, I just remember the 69 and 73 Knicks and how great they were as a team. And maybe one day they'll be talking about the 24-25 Knicks. But these Knicks fans are maybe the best in the country. The celebration after getting to the conference finals after 25 years, it felt like they had won the NBA championship.
Mark Berman, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Tina. I appreciate it.
And coming up on Sports Extra, we continue talking basketball, but about a New York Hoops team that did, in fact, win a championship last year. We'll check out those Liberty championship rings next. In a stadium filled with New York sports fans, the New York Liberty got a warm welcome at Yankee Stadium when the 2024 WNBA champions were honored before the Subway Series. That's Brianna Stewart getting to throw out the first pitch, and their glistening, sparkling new championship rings were on full display. The Liberty players received their championship rings yesterday during a pregame ring ceremony and banner-raising celebration of the 2024 championship season before tipping off their 2025 season against the Las Vegas Aces, with a win, by the way. As one of the original WNBA franchises, the Liberty won their first title last season, which also marked the first professional basketball championship for New York since 1973. As we have talked about already tonight. But with that, the Liberty deserved nothing but the best, as our Jennifer Williams reports from Barclays Center.
This is our first championship, but it will not be our last.
Ahead of their season opener against the Aces, the Liberty got to do something no other team has ever done before at Barclays Center: raise a championship banner and receive their rings.
It's so big and so shiny. Like, Taya wanted to touch it, and I was like, you are not taking it. Because I don't know what you're going to do with it next.
28 years in the making. The New York Liberty are WNBA champions.
And after capturing the 2024 title, the team is just getting started.
It's just something that we've been looking forward to ever since the parade, ever since, we won the opportunity of being back with our fans. Because it's like, you're on the street and you're seeing them and they're saying, go Liberty, and we can't wait for the next season, and now we're here.
And once the banner was raised, the Liberty had to quickly transition into their role as the defending champs in their season opener against the Aces.
Once we walked off that court, it was like, all right, stay in the now, because this team is hungry and they want to come after us with everything that they got. And I thought we did a great job locking in.
And it was the new star who already has a ring but didn't receive one that day that dazzled in her debut for New York.
I think she's going to fit right in with this Liberty squad and the fans as a tank, and count the bucket.
Natasha Cloud scored 22 points and hit key shots down the stretch, helping to put the game away. New York topped the Aces 92-78 to start the season undefeated.
For me, as an outsider, even watching them win last year and to seeing how big it was for the city, right, to win its first ever for an organization, for Stewie to come home to New York and do it, those are all big things. For Sab to win her first one, like JJ, who has been going after it for all these years, you can't help but be happy for your teammates, right? And when you're happy for your teammates and you celebrate them, I always feel like good karma's going to come back around. So I sit there, I boast them up on the pedestals that they should be, and then we right back to it, because I want to win one too, and I'm trying to celebrate, I'm trying to do all that.
At the PGA Championship in Charlotte, North Carolina at Quail Hollow Golf Club, the Wanamaker Trophy on the line. So listen to this. A year ago, Scotty Scheffler, right there, he found himself mistakenly put in handcuffs when he went through a security point at last year's PGA Championship. Well, this year, the world's #1 player cruised through the tournament to win his third major. Scheffler posted an even par 71 in the final round for a 5-stroke victory. Scheffler now adds the Wanamaker Trophy to his 2 green Masters jackets. this is going to be a fun guest. It is time now to reminisce about some great sports stories from the past, and some that even bring us to the present day. Very big sports story here in New York, and no better to have a native New Yorker, an icon in sports broadcasting from his 45-year career, which even includes his role as a former sports anchor from our sister station, WWOR, now known as My 9. Steve Albert joins us here now on Sports Extra just as he recently released his new entertaining, funny, and informative book, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Broadcast Booth. Steve, welcome to Sports Extra here in New York. How are you?
Hey, Tina, how you doing? Thanks for having me on. I'm doing well.
Oh, it's great to see you, and great congratulations on this new fun book. I mean, boxing, NBA play-by-play, even the New York Mets. You've done it all in sports, just as your brothers, Marv and Al, have done as well. How were you able to get all of this into one book?
Well, it wasn't easy. It took about 6 years. I started thinking about it about 20 years ago, but my profession got in the way. But on and off, it took about 6 years. Originally, I was going to call it To Kill a Mockingbird, but unfortunately, it was already taken.
Would have had some, problems, copyright problems with that. Yeah. Steve, New York sports, is in a frenzy right now. The Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Mets and Yankees are playing each other as we speak, possibly headed towards a Subway World Series. What were some of the moments like this for you and your brothers growing up in New York that help you just hone your skills and your love to have a career in sports broadcasting?
Well, when we were little kids, Tina, we would go into this little room in our house in Brooklyn, and we would turn the sound down on Yankees games, and we would announce the games ourselves. And then we would go down into the basement, and we would do play-by-play of ping pong. We would basically go around the house and announce almost anything, including dinner. We drove my parents crazy. My mother would often say, can't we at least get one doctor out of this? Do all three of you have to be sportscasters? But I'll say this, they never told us to stop, never once. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Oh, that is a beautiful story, because we know how all of your careers ended up. And you even worked with your brother Al at Channel 9. And we found archives of Al tossing it to you inside the Mets clubhouse after they clinched in 1986. You guys were at WWOR at the time. What was that like? We're looking at it right now. Just saw the pie in the face and everything.
House. We've got before and we've got after.
That was unbelievable. Al was anchoring. I was in the locker room. We had sort of a split screen thing going.
Yep.
And eventually I got a pie to the face by Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah, because Dave Magadan got it first. He had it first. That's what we just saw.
Okay. Yeah, but I didn't expect it at all. I was interviewing my fellow Lincoln High School alumnus, Lee Mazzilli, and I was just incapacitated. Not only was there, like a shaving cream pie in my face, but there was some powdery substance in it as well. And I could barely breathe. And Lee started laughing, and he said, I'll do the interview, Al. And he wound up asking me, what does it feel like to have a pie in the face?
And one quick one that you have, just as we wrap this up, Ralph Kiner setting your chair on fire. That one too.
Yeah, I was working with Bob Murphy and Ralph Kiner in the late 70s and early 80s. These were not the glory years of the Mets. We had a ticker tape machine behind us that would spit out all the out-of-town scores and would unravel into a waste paper basket. And Ralph was doing the play-by-play, and he lit up a big cigar, and he was flicking the ashes into the waste paper basket, and it somehow wound up under his chair. And in the middle of trying to describe a fly ball to left field, Mets were playing the Cardinals, and we were on radio, he just jumped out of the chair and screamed and stopped doing the play-by-play. Why? Because his chair was engulfed in flames.
Well, Steve, these are just two of the many funny things that happened on the way to the broadcast booth. Your book that is out, you can get it anywhere you get your books, Amazon, etc. Before I let you go real quick, after all these years and knowing the historics of New York sports history, what do you think of the Knicks back in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Well, you know, I have a chapter in my book that's titled "Living Through History," and it describes my being a student at Kent State on May 4th, 1970, during that the tragic shootings. 4 days later, I was invited by Knicks trainer Danny Whalen to sit on the Knicks bench as an honorary ball boy when the Knicks, of course, won their first NBA championship. I see similarities between that Knicks team and this Knicks team in terms of heart and sharing the ball. And, of course, the Knicks have the home court advantage, which is huge with, you know, the way these Knicks fans are. But let me just say that I will put it this way. A funny thing happened on the way to the finals.
Steve Albert, a great broadcaster, icon, and now also an author of a great funny book that people can learn about your broadcasting career. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Tina. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. And Sports Extra, we'll be right back.
Everyone knows New York City is the capital of nightlife.
And like New York, we're bringing life to your nights with Good Night New York.
We've got great guests.
You call New York home now.
This is home for sure.
The hottest trend.
Keeping you up to date on what's going on in New York City.
We have a jam-packed show.
And of course, you know we'll have some fun.
You have left me breathless.
Me too.
I'm excited for you.
So end your nights with us and watch Good Night New York.
Weeknights at 11 on Fox 5.
Whew, what a sports weekend. All right, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Extra presented by your local Toyota dealers, where we bring you stories from New York and around the sports world, plus a little extra. For Jennifer Williams, I'm Tina Cervasio. Thank you so much for watching Sports Extra. We'll be back next Sunday. We'll see you then in the midst of the Eastern Conference Finals. Coming up next here on Fox 5, it's In Depth with Graham Bensinger, and it starts right now.